This is one of the most popular questions that I get asked, and today I want to share with you my approach which resolves this problem by addressing the needs of the puppy as well as that of the parent. If you have ever had or been around a puppy, you have probably experienced the puppy play bite, which, although well-intentioned, can still be pretty painful. First of all, we must realize that this is a completely normal and necessary facet of puppy development. It is the result of a somewhat crude combination of teething and the curious mind of a young dog. They are armed with little but their noses and needle-sharp teeth to explore and get to know the world around them. While it would be unfair and unrealistic to expect our dogs to stop mouthing altogether, our goal here is to effectively teach our dogs that they must not use their teeth on human skin. So I did a Google search and I found that the two most popular textbook solutions to this problem are just not very effective because they tend to overlook the important part of the equation where we tell the dog what to do instead. The first is what I call the ouch method. This is where we make a loud sound to let the dog know that it is really hurting us. This may work well for some dogs, but I find that a lot of dogs will actually see this as an invitation to play and may even bite harder. The second most popular solution that I came across involves using an aversive punishment of some sort. Not only is this form of punishment completely unnecessary, it is especially unsuitable when working with the puppy. Even if it seems to work, a problem that I have seen numerous times is that the dog that is punished for play biting tends to only learn to stop biting the people that are able to punish it effectively, redirecting that percentage of bite incidents towards other people. Something to especially consider if the dog is going to be interacting with lots of different people and especially young children. When attempting to correct any problem behavior, the approach that we must take should be proactive as opposed to reactive. In other words, we don't have to wait for the dog to do something wrong in order to show them the correct alternate behavior. This is especially important when curbing play biting, and I like to do a mixture of different things. As simple as it may be, always have a couple of toys available to your dog to chew on. Properly sized nylobones and peanut butter stuffed Kongs tend to be the safest and most valued chewables in the puppy world. This is a word that tells your dog to stop or back off your hand. Teaching it is very similar to the method that I use to train Leave It. Basically, grab a handful of delicious treats and allow your dog to sniff your closed fist. If this is your first time doing this, be prepared to outlast a very persistent puppy as they will try to sniff and lick for several seconds to try to get to the food. Tell your dog off just once and wait until they decide to back off, immediately rewarding them the second that they do. Off. Yes. Repeat this several times and soon your dog will respond to the off cue very quickly. Off. Yes. Mouthing is a good thing and we do want to encourage it to some degree since it is very soothing for a puppy that is teething. The message to communicate is that toys are much more fun to play with than hands. Now that we have a word that we can get the puppy to stop mouth to skin contact, we can start to reward them by immediately engaging them with an appropriate object or toy. Teaching a dog to play tug has many benefits and can be used as a very motivating reward in training. However, we have to follow a few rules if we want to make sure that the dog stays interested in playing the game. Once we have taught the dog to stop biting on our skin as soon as we give them the off cue, and we have also taught them to play tug with a toy, then we are well on our way to tackling this problem behavior. However, if one day the puppy continues to ignore the feedback that we are clearly communicating, and this is very rare, we can give them a short timeout. I prefer not to put the dog in their crate just because I think it should always be a very positive place, and I don't really want the dog associating being in the crate with my physical absence or being punished. Instead, I prefer removing myself from the environment. You could leave the room, or if you have the dog in their long-term confinement area, simply walk out just long enough to let your puppy reflect on the event that led to the loss of their favorite human playmate. After about 30 seconds to a minute, you can go back, talk to your dog, pet them. You want the puppy to know that we still love them. It's just that painful biting behavior that we find intolerable. The best way to train a dog to do anything is by teaching them from the inside out, by focusing on what you want the dog to do instead of what you don't want them to do. This is the only way that we can guarantee that a dog will learn to think and not simply react. Puppies are able to acquire a number of very advanced skills from a very young age. And the truth is that the more things that we teach them, the better they become at learning, and we do at teaching.